going to show you today a Filipino favorite, which we call Pan de Coco. Let's get started. For the dough, you need 1 tablespoon instant dry yeast, 1 cup water, 1 whole egg, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup sugar, 2 tablespoons full cream powdered milk, 1/2 cup of shortening, or you can use margarine, 1/2 kilo all-purpose or bread flour. For the coconut filling, you need 2 cups of freshly grated coconut, 2/3 cup of sugar, you can use white or brown, 1/4 cup water, you only add this if your coconut is dry, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. To mix the dough, I have here water, you can just use tap water, and then we have 1 tablespoon instant dry yeast. You stir. If it's instant dry yeast, you can immediately see that the yeast is active because you can see some bubbles or some activity. If you're using active dry yeast, you have to wait for 15 minutes before you start mixing, okay? And then we add in egg, sugar, powdered milk. All right, in case you don't have powdered milk and you have milk, instead of water you can use milk, full cream milk. And then I have here, you mix this, and then I have all-purpose flour, you can also use bread flour, and then salt. Don't add the salt directly to the yeast because it will slow down the activity of the yeast. And then for the fat, you can use shortening, you can use butter, you can use margarine, or you can use any combination of butter, margarine, and shortening. Alright? So, you mix this first for 1 to 2 minutes until it forms a dough before you add in the shortening. Water is always variable when you bake bread. Sometimes you need more water, sometimes you need less, alright? Once the dough picks up all of the flour, then we will add in the shortening, or butter or margarine, or any fat that you choose. This is what I mean when I say that the dough picked up the flour. See? It's cleaning the sides of the bowl. Normally, this is a test that you have enough water, you have enough flour in the dough, okay? And then at this point, we can now add shortening or butter. Oops. Okay? And then we will knead this for about 6 to 8 minutes at medium speed until the dough is elastic, or we have what we call the window pane. When you make a dough, always check the window pane, alright? So, you get a small amount of dough and slowly stretch it with your fingers. See? Stretch it slowly. Don't pull it. Stretch it slowly until, see? You can see the tip of your fingers. Then you know that you have mixed it enough, that you have developed the gluten, alright? Okay? So, this is the test for all doughs, yeast doughs, okay? And then what we're going to do next is you prepare a bowl with a little oil, all right? And then we will let this rise for about 1 hour or 45 minutes, depends on how warm it is. The warmer it is, the faster it will rise, okay? So you form it into a smooth ball, put it down like this, and turn it over, so now you have oil on top, alright? And then we cover this with plastic, or if you don't want to use plastic, you can use a damp towel. Put this in a warm place. The reason we keep this covered is we don't want the skin, we don't want to form a skin which is dry, so we keep our dough always smooth. Okay. For the filling, for the Pan de Coco filling, I have fresh coconut, freshly grated coconut. Don't use the sapal because the sapal has no more oil, has no more flavor because you have already extracted the fat, okay, or the milk. For those of you who have no access to fresh coconut, you can use desiccated coconut, but you need to soak it in water to hydrate it because desiccated coconut is dried coconut. Okay, then we are going to add sugar. You can use white or brown. Then you have vanilla. Salt is optional. Salt will just balance the sweetness. And then, remember I told you water is optional. Sometimes when we buy the freshly grated coconut, the coconut is already too old or too mature that there is not much moisture. So we add a little water. Okay? And then you cook this. First, what happens is the mixture will become a little watery because the sugar will melt. Right? This is what happens. The sugar will melt, so the mixture becomes wet. Okay. And then you cook this only for 5 minutes. You don't have to cook this for a very long time. After 5 minutes, this is what happens. Okay, so this is good. And then we cool this down while we wait for the dough to rise. Right. Here we have our dough after 1 hour. It's double in size. To check, you can poke your finger in the middle. If the indentation stays, then it means it has risen enough, right? But anyway, visually you can see that, you know, it has doubled in size. Okay. Okay. 50-52 is fine. Here, then you make this into a smooth ball. All you have to do is do this and tuck it in like this. Okay, then you have a smooth ball. Again, tuck it in. Right? Or in the bakery is they just do this. You rub the dough against the table. Alright? At the same time, you cup your hand. Roll this out. Well, you can do this without a rolling pin, but depends on what is easier for you. Just remember, shiny side should always be down. Or smooth side, sorry. We have the cocoa filling. We put the cocoa filling here. Okay. And then close. See, make sure it's close. And then put this on the tray. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can brush the tray with shortening and flatten this. This is how they sell the cocoa bread. Okay. And then roll this out. Yeah, remember, this portion is the smooth side, so like this. And then you fill. Okay. I will do one more and then we will continue the rest. Right? Make sure it's closed. And then press it down. One more. Smooth side out. Okay. Okay. Make sure your hands has no oil. And then flatten this. Okay, so we'll continue with the rest. Here's the cocoa bread. Flatten this. And then we brush this with milk or egg. I'm using milk right now. You can brush this also after it has risen, after it has proofed. But sometimes I have a tendency to forget, so I usually brush it after I form it. But the best is to do it just before it goes inside the oven. Okay, then after that, you make two designs with a fork. The purpose of this is just a design, okay? This has no other meaning except it's just a design that the bakers like to use. Alright? So we will let this rise for about 30 minutes before we put this in the oven and bake this. I have many recipes to share with you. If you're interested, please like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you can be alerted when a new video is uploaded. Check our cocoa bread. Okay, it's done. See? Okay, let's take this out and cool this.